say thank you, Ahmari, for once again joining me here for this interview. I appreciate it. It's been a while since the last time we talked, has it? What? So the first thing I had to say ask is, how are you doing? Also, you get to rest up, obviously, sort of get some R&R back home with the family. So, what is really your first? I guess we can kind of call it year so far overseas. How's that experience been as far as playing, as a professional soccer player, basically? So, Mr. Jones, in terms of the professional teams you're actually playing with right now, could you give me the names of those teams in Spain and Germany? All right, very interesting, very interesting. And in terms of the position that you play on both of these teams here, could you elaborate on that a little bit? And in terms of your responsibilities, maybe at right back and left back, and then right and left wing, could you maybe also expand on that? Now you say you're going through trials with the team. Have you guys gotten around to playing sort of any games yet? My next question would have to be, what in terms are the plans that you have, or maybe that you've sort of thought about in terms of dealing with education now that you're sort of traveling overseas, obviously coming from high school and now working on trying to build a professional career over there. So kind of how are you dealing with that aspect? And obviously, learning those multiple languages is going to help you be able to better communicate while you're over there. Thus, kind of easier experiences. Am I right? So I'd have to say, what has been maybe the most enjoyable part of your experience, sort of being able to travel overseas? And as far as maybe things that have been possibly a little bit challenging or maybe I don't want to say difficult, but interesting in terms of your transition, what has been maybe the biggest part? Now, in terms of any personal or maybe team oriented goals you have set for yourself going into, I guess you could call it the season where you eventually go back, can you elaborate on some of those maybe? So it's obviously it's like the process even back here where it's just kind of like you go out there perform so you can get noticed by other scouts. It may not always be the team you're playing with, but it may be the next team that sees you and they want to take a flyer on you, and ultimately that could be the team your career winds up taking off with.
Yeah,
Obviously,
definitely, definitely. I agree with that.
I would definitely have to say in terms of what you said about Spade, obviously performing well internationally, especially with like the under 23 team and stuff like that. That's obviously very important because that's like where you're playing the best of the best. Am I right to assume?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And in terms of, we actually talked before we even turned the cameras on about how about some of the things you wanted to prove about yourself physically. Getting back to the workouts and everything like that, getting your body ready to go back and getting ready for the grind. So, what are some of the things you're kind of focusing on physically as you get back into your own sort of personal workout routine to better prepare yourself for the challenges when you go back overseas? And is there anything maybe skill wise that you're trying to work on and better, just so you have a better all around game? In terms of maybe anything personally that you want to see achieved, maybe once you finally get your shot to play professionally, what's maybe the biggest thing you're most looking forward to when you ultimately say make the first team? You get to go out there and play amongst, I guess you could call them the big boys or the professionals, so to say, guys that may be 5, 6, 7 years older than you in some aspect.
Mm.
So what's the thing you're most looking forward to? Is it scoring that first goal,
Huh.
making that first big, game saving tackle, things of that nature? Well, once again, Mr. Jones, I want to thank you for joining me here today. It's been a pleasure. You're always welcome back because I love interviewing you. You seem like a really nice kid, and I hope to continue to track your career further. So, for me here with Chasing Dream Productions and on behalf of the unheraldedsportsview.com, Michael Chase here with Mr. Amari Jones.